Hey everyone, Merry Christmas! This is Julian from the Binary Lab, and well, as you know, I've been talking about a lot of like continual learning. Every day I start my daily routine with learning. Okay, so let's say if I feel lazy, I get myself up to speed by playing something that's educational, that I may get interested in one of the two things. Okay, even in my brain, even if I could be ha- coming after a weekend of partying with friends and relatives, and it's just sometimes find it hard to get back in gear. I play something from Udemy. I watch something from Daily Goldcasts, Gary Vaynerchuk. Listen to something that's related to learning, maybe on YouTube or something. And with one or two things catch my mind, and then I get into learning mode. And speaking of being in learning mode, today when I was learning about like doing some YouTube promotion, right? And there was a segment in a video training about YouTube promotion that was teaching about the psychology of ad spending. Okay, and when I heard that, I thought, well, this is brilliant. I could actually relate this to trading and basically give you the trading version of the psychology of managing your money for trading. So many of you, when you come into trading, you are doing this. Like for many of you, it's not your profession, right? You're doing it because, well, you probably heard about people doing it, heard about people making money. You wanted to make some money as well, make spare cash, whatever, and you got into trading. It's not because you studied for it. It's not because it's your profession, but you just decided to try it out because you thought, well, maybe you tried your hand at other home business opportunities. You tried your hand at filling out surveys and email summits and whatnot. But all these weren't really your cup of tea. You tried network marketing, MLMs, and all that, and it wasn't really a cup of tea. And you decided to give like trading a go because you thought that, hey, trading is great because um, we don't have to you don't have to like talk to people. We don't have to sell stuff, and we the money that we put into trading is our money. It's not that we're buying product that we can't sell off or anything. But actually, like when you're trading, the way to put your psychology is this, because I see an ongoing mistake that a lot of newcomers never fail to make. And this mistake is that they always have this tendency to burn out too fast. So for instance, okay, most people, they set aside a budget, all right. I'm not saying small budget or big budget or medium budget, but I'm saying they set aside a budget. But how they manage that budget is the problem, and results in them burning out too fast. Okay, um, when you are trying out something new, it's very important that you need to understand that you are indeed trying out something new. A lot of traders, they come out and maybe they set for themselves a budget. Okay, I'm going to set aside $1,000 or $2,000, or it depends. Like for some people, it's 500 or 250 or 100, depending on which country you come from, and depending on what you can afford and what makes sense to you, right? And you set aside a sum of money, and when you come in, you think that, okay, well, I set aside 1,000. I'm gonna place a couple of trades. Well, the first couple of trades, I'm really excited. I'm getting these great results, and then they start to start to trade too much, and then they start to mess things up. So by day one, they got some result. Day two, maybe they lost some of the winnings that they made on day one. Day three, they get a bit frustrated, and they possibly start increasing the trade sizes, thinking they want to chase back the losses. And then the more they trade, or the more you trade, because I mean this is such a common problem, right? The more you trade, you find that um, you're getting more and more confused, and when and before you know it, all right, you're already like 60% of your budget down, and you're like, oh my god, this is just my third day, and I'm 60% down on my budget. So what am I going to do? So you have like 40% of your budget in your trading account left, and you're stuck because you have a lot of pressure to regain that, and there's only two things that can happen. One, well, there's three scenarios, but okay, the best case scenario that no one takes is to understand what went wrong, just build it back up slow and steady. Okay, maybe spend more time on the drawing board, demo trade, blah blah blah, small trade sizes, um, and then basically build it up. That's what most people. That's what you should be doing, but most people don't actually do that. So a lot of people, they either instead trade even more recklessly, or there's a third one that people give up. So this is unfortunately what happens all the time. So to remedy this problem, the way to go around it is that you should actually think of it in terms of, okay, well, I'm in my beginning phase. Most beginners have the mistakes where they fail to get enough data about their own trading. What I mean by data on their own trading means that they're not testing for long enough. They're not demo trading for long enough, or let's say they're not trading at low sizes for long enough. If first of all, if you feel confident, you're doing back testing, you're doing demo trading, and you feel kind of confident, then you should be experimenting with real money, because real money is a different ball game from demo. It's not too different. If your mind can make the connection, then it's not too different. But many people somehow have that problem. Many people, when they go from demo to live, it's just, I don't know, some connections in the brain just, and they don't do as well. They do everything different from what they do so well in demo, and live they don't do it so well. And so it's very important to get, when you start trading on live, to get the same kind of result. So in the beginning phase, all right, you should be dividing, you may want to split it something like, it could be along the lines of, if we had to break into 3 stages, it would be something like 15%, 35%, and then the 50%. So let's say that, if you are in the beginning, you just touch like 15% of that budget, all right? So and why is this? Because, okay, when we are testing, understand we're testing, okay? Like, when you're testing something, you're testing to see that this works for you, okay? And you don't want to get at that point of time where you're not even giving it a fair test, and you just abandon it too early. I mean, what it could have worked out if you got your money management right, if you got your investment psychology right, okay? So you want to give yourself the fair trial. So in the beginning, you want to kind of like limit yourself to 15%, okay? So let's say, you have this budget, maybe it's 1,000, you start at 150, for instance, and then you basically work on not losing that 150, actually growing it. And then if you can handle that, well, then perhaps you can look at doing like handling 350. All right, and then if you can grow that, then you're ready to add on the other 500. So, or if you're already growing that 350, you're multiplying it, and then the 500 could be like either when you're ready to scale up, or when you are, or let's say if you made some mistakes, you can actually take from here to supplement back into that what you had over there, that 35%, so that you can continue to go on. All right. So the main things I just mentioned, you don't want to burn out too early. You want to stay in the game, and understand that like I told you, when I came up with the idea behind this video, because I was watching a video on ad spending psychology. So, for example, when a business is spending money on advertising, this is money that they can afford to lose. They have made profits elsewhere in the business, and it's only right that every business should reinvest a certain amount of money back into the promotion. And if they find a promotional channel that is good, great. But if not, they lose some here, but they continue to test elsewhere and find until it works. The same thing with trading. Some of us, we learn different strategies. Not every strategy is suitable for our mentality. For example, in the Binary Lab Basic, I have various strategies. In the Binary Lab Elite, I also have various strategies. And different strategies tailor for different time frames and situations. Like, some people find that trading on a 15-second chart is just stressful, because before they can even set up on a trade, they find that, oh my god, it's it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. I can't chase. I can't get in time. And then the chasing trades, better not chase trades. If that's the case, do different time frames. So there are other people who do like 5 minute charts, doing like longer trades, 25 minutes, an hour, and stuff. And for some people, that works fine for them. So everyone's a little bit different. And it's very important for you to know as well what is your style. So in this beginning, you have to try out, find that comfort first, and then continue. Because understand that you're willing. You're at the beginning when you're trying out. Okay, you're trying out. You need to actually find out what works for you before you actually run out of funds. So if you keep these thoughts in mind, okay, this is the way to responsibly trade. It's not like when you're heading to a casino where you go like, okay, well, I've got cash to blow, but it's true, because when we're trying out something new, we need to budget a sum of money for it. But with this budget, the vision is to have this thing work out for us, not to flop. We're not. Would you agree with me that we try something, with the view to a success? We don't come in to expect to fail, right? So if you come in, the problem with casino, the problem with a lot of people playing like blackjack and poker with their friends is that they're like, well, it's a one time a year thing, and when was the last time you sat down for a game of poker with your friends, and you're like, well, it's the the annual Thanksgiving dinner, we get together and we play poker, and it's like, well, I brought $50, I brought $100 to lose today. It's not like that, because there's always going to be that one guy or two guys on the table that's just super serious when they play the poker, and basically, they just nail every single year. So everyone is, I've noticed this in different circles of friends. There's always going to be one or two guys that pockets all the money every single year. That's because everyone went in, just like, oh well, I'm going to lose. No, you've gone in, you've come in to win. Okay, so you've got to pace yourself, and then you can get the results that you want. Methods I can teach you, like I said, I have Binary Lab Basic, I have Binary Lab Elite, and right now we're also starting out some regional groups as well. We have South Africa, we've got Thailand, starting up Singapore as well. So basically, if you are in any of these countries that I mentioned, and you would like to get in touch, leave a comment, or you can actually write a message to my admin on my page, and we'll actually connect you to these groups that we're setting up, because we do have some very special promotions for some of the countries, because we know that certain countries are not so well off, and I've come up with very special concessionary rates people can come in and learn. And I perfectly understand that for some people like $100 may be a lot, for some people $100 may be nothing. Okay, but like for those of you for whom it's nothing, well then that's going to be your trial money, for instance, and as you start seeing results, you scale. But if it's important to you, like for example, folks in Africa, it ain't that easy to save 100 USD. So if that's the case, you want to trade really responsibly. Like I mentioned, you portion out the 15 to 35 to 50, and then that way you can actually see your money working a lot longer for you. And when your money works longer for you, and somewhere along the line, it's as though if you drive a manual car, right? If you drive a manual car, we gotta very carefully, we gotta the word is there is a timing to releasing the clutch onto the gears, right? Because when you release the clutch at the right time, and then then the car starts to move, right? And sometimes with an auto car, there can be clutch problems at times when the clutch is loose and you haven't really found a fit. And until that time, the car is not moving. It's still like the gear switching version of a neutral, because it hasn't gone into gear yet. So you need to make sure that you are financially not bleeding too much until you get into gear. Because when you get into gear, that's what we all want to do. The goal of trading is to get into gear and to profit and to scale and scale and scale. Eventually go from making a couple of bucks a day to a couple of tens of bucks a day to a couple $100 a day to thousands per day. That is the vision. Okay, so with that, once again, Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you made some sense of this video. Just like it, subscribe, share it, and if you have any thoughts or questions or something that you'd like me to make a video about, just leave a comment below this video as well. Bye for now. Good trading.